Hi, welcome to science classes from excelup.com. Today I am going to talk about metals and non-metals. In this video we will be discussing about physical properties of metals and non-metals, chemical properties of metals and non-metals, and about extraction of metals. So first of all, let us talk about physical properties of metals and non-metals. Metals, they are hard, while non-metals are brittle. So if you hit a metal, you cannot break it, but a non-metal easily breaks on being hit. Metals are generally available as solid at room temperatures. There are some exceptions like gallium and cesium, which are in semi-liquid state, and mercury is a metal which is in liquid state. Non-metals, they are available as solid, liquid and gaseous. Metals are sonorous. When you hit a metallic object with something, you get a typical sound which comes from metallic objects, and that is why metals are called sonorous, and this is the reason bells are made from metals. But non-metals, they are not sonorous. Metals are good conductors of electricity, and hence they are used for making electrical wires. Metals are malleable. Anything which can be beaten into thin sheets is called malleable. So we can make thin sheets from iron, aluminium, gold or silver. Metals are ductile. So anything which can be pulled into thin wire is called ductile. So wires are made of copper and aluminium. Metals are lustrous. That means they have a typical shine. But non-metals, they are non-ductile, non-malleable, bad conductors of electricity. They are dull, non-shiny. There is an exception. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Now let us move to chemical properties of metals. First of all, we will discuss about reaction of metals with oxygen. When a metal reacts with oxygen, it gives metal oxides. Potassium and sodium, they are highly reactive metal, so they react with oxygen at room temperature and give respective oxides. The reaction is 4K plus O2 is equal to 2K2O, and for sodium it is 4Na plus O2 is equal to 2Na2O. Magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron and copper, they do not react with oxygen at room temperature, but when they are strongly heated or burnt, they react with oxygen to give oxides. So zinc gives zinc oxide. Magnesium, when it is burnt, it gives magnesium oxide. 2Mg plus O2 is equal to 2MgO. So when you burn magnesium ribbon, you will get white dazzling light, and because of this, magnesium is often used in fireworks. Aluminium gives aluminium oxide. Iron is 3Fe plus 2O2 is equal to Fe3O4. Among all of them, copper, it needs to be heated very strongly to get oxide, because copper is the least reactive in this group. Metal oxides, they are basic in nature, but aluminium oxide, that it is amphoteric in nature. That means aluminium oxide behaves like base as well as like acid. Now let us talk about reaction of metal with water. Most of the metals, they do not react with water at room temperature, but once a metal reacts with water, it gives metal hydroxide and hydrogen. So sodium, potassium and calcium, they readily react with water because they are highly reactive. Sodium is so reactive that once you put a grain of sodium in water, the reaction is highly vigorous and highly exothermic, and it catches fire. Same happens with potassium also. With calcium, it just forms bubbles because of a high heat evolved. So all of them, they give hydroxides. So the reactions are for Na plus H2O is equal to NaOH plus H2, K plus H2O is equal to KOH plus H2, and Ca plus 2H2O is equal to CaOH whole 2 plus H2. In fact, sodium is so reactive in nature that it needs to be stored under kerosene oil to prevent accidental fire. Magnesium reacts slowly with cold water, and that is true for aluminum, zinc and iron as well. But with a steam, all of them they react properly. So with a steam, Mg plus H2O is equal to MgO plus H2. For aluminum, it is 2Al plus 3H2O is equal to 2Al2O3 plus 2H2. For zinc, it is Zn plus H2O is equal to ZnO plus H2. One thing is interesting to note, that when a metal reacts with cold water, it gives hydroxide, but when it reacts with a steam, it gives oxygen. But that is not true with iron. Iron reacts very slowly with cold water. It can take even months or years to react with cold water to give rust. And the reaction is 4Fe plus 3O2 is equal to 2Fe2O3. That is called rust. A brownish layer gets deposited on iron article because of this reaction. When iron reacts with steam, it gives oxide with a different formula. So it is 3Fe plus 4H2O is equal to Fe3O4 plus 4H2. Now let us move on to metals reaction with dilute acid. When a metal reacts with dilute acid, it gives salt and hydrogen gas. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, aluminum and zinc, all of them they react with dilute acid. So for sodium, it is 2Na plus 2HCl is equal to 2NaCl plus H2. For potassium, it is 2K plus H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, is equal to K2SO4 plus H2. For Mg plus 2HCl is equal to MgCl2 plus H2. 2Al plus 6HCl is equal to 2AlCl3 plus 3H2. What is interesting to note is that I have deliberately mentioned just two acids here. They are hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid, and I have not mentioned nitric acid because nitric acid reacts somewhat differently with metals. Nitric acid is a very strong oxidizing agent. So whatever hydrogen is evolved, it gets oxidized to form water molecule, and in the process oxides of nitrogen are also formed. So that reaction is a different kind of reaction, and I have talked about this in the video on acid, base and salt. Copper, gold and silver, they do not react with water or acid because they are least reactive metals or noble metals. Now let us talk about chemical properties of non-metals. When non-metals react with oxygen, they give non-metal oxides. So for example, when carbon is burnt in air, it gives carbon dioxide. C plus O2 is equal to CO2, and this is the reaction which happens while we are burning any fuel. But when carbon is burnt in limited amount of air, it gives carbon monoxide. The reaction is 2C plus O2 is equal to 2CO. When sulfur reacts, it gives sulfur dioxide. When hydrogen reacts, it gives water. Non-metallic oxides, they are acidic in nature. Non-metals, they also react with chlorine to make chloride. So for hydrogen, it is H2 plus Cl2 is equal to 2HCl. This is hydrochloric acid. For phosphorus, it is P4 plus 6 Cl2 is equal to 4 PCl3. Now let us talk about extraction of metals. In fact, metals they are available as minerals. A mineral is a substance which is a naturally occurring substance with a fixed composition. But all minerals, they cannot be ores. A mineral from which a metal can be profitably extracted is called an ore. So we need to look out for ores to find metals in a profitable way. So first step is the concentration of ore. The concentration is also called purification. This is a process which removes impurities from ore. There are many methods to do this. One is called gravity separation, electromagnetic separation and Froth flotation. Once concentration of ore is done, next process depends on the reactivity of a particular metal. So for metals of high reactivity, electrolysis of molten ore is done to get pure metal. For metals of medium reactivity, there can be two processes depending on the type of ore. So there can be carbonate ores or sulfide ores. For low reactivity, all ores are in the form of sulfide ores. So one process is, that is for carbonate ore, is called calcination. Heating of carbonate ore in limited supply of air is called calcination. and heating of sulfide ore in excess supply of air is called roasting. So both the processes, calcination and roasting, they give oxide of metals. Once we get oxide of metal, that is subjected to reduction process to get metals. Same happens in this category also. Here are some examples. First example is of metals of least reactivity. So we have cinnabar, that is the ore of mercury, HGS, and we have copper glance, that is the ore of copper. So both of them, they are sulfide ores. So they need to be subjected to roasting process. 2HGS plus 3O2 is equal to 2HGO plus 2SO2, and 2Cu2S plus 3O2 is equal to 2Cu2O plus 2SO2. Both these processes, they give oxides. Once we get oxides, oxides are subjected to reduction process to get metals. So here the 2HGO gives Hg and O2, and copper oxide gives copper. Now let's come to metals of middle reactivity. So here we have zinc sulfide. Zinc sulfide will be subjected to roasting, and zinc carbonate, that is zinc spar, will be subjected to calcination. So 2ZnS plus 3O2 is equal to 2ZnO, giving zinc oxide. Zinc carbonate, it is heated, it also gives zinc oxide, and after that zinc oxide is subjected to reduction. It is heated with carbon to get zinc. So ZnO plus C is equal to Zn plus CO. Now let us come to iron ore and ores of lead, manganese and copper. So these are available as oxide ores. They do not need to undergo roasting or calcination. They are directly subjected to reduction process. So iron ore is heated with carbon to get iron. Fe2O3 plus 3C is equal to 4Fe plus 3CO2. Same more or less happens with these metallic oxides also. So now we have got metals from different processes, and they need to be refined. So refining of metals is done through the process of electrolysis, that is electrolytic refining, and the same process is applied for metals from high reactivity series. So here is one example of refining of copper. In this process, the impure copper is made anode, and a pure copper's rod is made cathode. A suitable electrolyte like calcium sulfate solution is used for this process. So at the anode, what happens? The copper, it turns into copper ions, and it goes towards cathode to become once again copper metal, and it gets deposited at cathode. The same process is applied for refining of all the other metals which are obtained after different processes. So now let us sum up. We have discussed about physical properties of metals and non-metals. Then we talked about chemical properties of metals and non-metals, especially reaction of metals with oxygen, water and dilute acids, and reaction of non-metals with oxygen and chlorine. And after that we discussed about extraction of metals, and where different processes were applied for metals from high reactivity, metals from middle reactivity and metals from low reactivity. So that's all. Thank you.